Hit Season 2.
And what we thought was going to be a very close group here, at least between these three players, aLive, Zest, and Dark. Zest is just shutting down aLive hard here in the first game. We'll see what he can do here in game number 2 on Frost, up against aLive once again. Here we are on Frost for game number 2. Down in the bottom left in the red, the Terran player down a game. It is aLive.
Man spawning here at the top left side. He's one game up in this series. It is KT Rolls' Zest. Very convincing win there from Zest in that previous game. All of the confidence is going on his, it's in his side. aLive probably feeling a bit shaken up that he lost a, you know, in his standards, a very silly loss for him.
Yeah, I mean, you could see it on his face. He kind of just took a big gulp. He swallowed. He's like, uh-oh, here we go. Not the way I wanted to start off this series.
And it looks like this game is going to start off pretty much like the same as we saw on Frozen Temple, the really early Nexus from Zest, and the really early gas from aLive is probably going to get that factory with the tech lab to try and get a quick Cyclone out. And the thing is, if aLive keeps his Cyclone alive, I think he will be able to stay in this game a bit longer, because when he lost that Cyclone to those Adepts in that Mothership core in that first game, it's not really something that you want to happen to you, because that's very avoidable.
Yeah, essentially everything went wrong in that game for aLive. Outside of the first unit that he picked off, he then went on to lose his Cyclone, and then he took a bunch of damage in both Marines and SCVs when Zest attacked. And then, of course, his army was out of position there at the end of the game. So, see if he can mix it up here a bit.
Yep. We haven't seen that tech lab yet, though, from... Okay, there we go. A bit of a late tech lab there from aLive, so he's not really he doesn't really have that urgency to get the Cyclone as soon as possible. Just wants to get a couple of more Marines out of that barracks before turning that factory with the tech lab into what is most likely going to be the Cyclone.
And he is going to follow that up with the second Rax, looking very similar to the build we saw in the first game. And let's see what Zest wants to do this time around. We did see the Stargate the first time, but this time it's just robotics tech very early on, a bit more standard in the matchup. Wouldn't be surprised if we see a Twilight Council come very soon after this.
Yeah, the very flexible build in this matchup is getting that Twilight Council with that robotics facility, because you can transition into so many different things with that Twilight Council. You can get Blink, try and control the map. You can get those quick Dark Templars with the Warp Prism to provide pressure onto your opponent, or you can get the Resonating Glaives for the Adepts.
Yeah, lots of different choices. This is the kind of build where if the Terran scans, he really needs to rely on stuff like, is there Chrono Boost on the Twilight Council? That'll give him a read on, okay, he might be going for some tech there. If there's not, but he's got both buildings, there could be like a Dark Shrine or something else going on, like an earlier third base.
Also the gas count as well, that expansion. If he sees the two gases, then it's probably going to be the Dark Templar playbed. Oh, is this Cycling going to snipe? No, it doesn't. That was very close from Zest.
Zest actually freaked out a bit. He pulls the probes. He could have just, you know, sat that Mothership core out of range, you know, outside the vision there, up on the high ground. Well, and now he's losing all of his probes here at the natural.
This is so weird, because where are the units of Zest? He did send that Adept to the main base.
Whoa.
He tries to snipe it off, though. Unfortunate for aLive there, but he trades, what, that one Cyclone for 7 probes? That's pretty good.
Yeah.
And he knows that the Oracle isn't coming out. It's going to be the Dark Shrine play, though.
This is where Zest is like, well, I just took a crap load of damage. Let's hope that he doesn't make turrets, and maybe I can get back into this game with Dark Templar. And I don't blame him for this kind of play. We already do see the Engineering Bay coming up, though. Somehow this Adept is still alive. Okay, it does get poked there by the SCV.
That's the most hero SCV I've ever seen in my life, taken out an Adept. But yeah, the question is now for Zest, how much damage can he do with this Dark Templar play? Because it did lose a considerable amount of pros from that weird Cyclone attack that aLive did. And in this situation, we see that Actually, no, there's a nice work count for Zest, 40 probes and 33 SVs, but you gotta remember, Terrans have mules.
That they do. The Dark Shrine does finish up. He's going to warp in 3, actually. Big commitment here. And already 2 missile turrets are done. 1 in the natural, 1 in the main. So I think his only hope is to either try to snipe the missile turret or just go straight. Oh, no!
Oh, that's not what Zest wants in this situation. And there's that turret. He's treading on thin ice here because that War Prism is on so low health. Actually, oh, there was a Widow Mine sitting there just before. Ooh. Oh, so close.
And now aLive sees the DTs too.
And is he going to save his scan, or is he going to try and scan and kill this? Okay, he's going to scan and kill this, but there are 2 more DTs out here for Zest. He's going to take out this turret, but I'm pretty sure there's a turret in the mineral line as well. And I love what aLive's doing here. He's buffering between the War Prism and the Dark Templar so that the War Prism can't come in and pick it up. That's a really nice move there from aLive.
Yeah, very, very smart. I also like what Zest is trying to do here, make him use the maximum amount of scans possible, where you just send in 1 DT at a time and you don't get too aggressive with it. You stay outside the range of the detection and force them to use 3 scans here.
Yeah, this harassment isn't over just yet. There is still 1 Dark Templar for Zest, but oh, there's another turret. It's going to see this. And we're going to see a counter drop, and there's not really much of an army back at home for Zest, is there?
Yeah, not really. He's got 6 Stalkers. He's really going to have to rely on overcharges here. And here come the Medivacs. 1 good overcharge, and aLive does not commit.
Is he going to lose his Medivac with the units? Oh no, that is disastrous for aLive. Oh, did he just lose the boost or something?
I think he boosted in or something. He just couldn't get out. And
the better option would have been just to bait the overcharge and just run back, because there's no real besides the Stalkers, there's not really much that Zest can deal with the drops.
Yeah, very unfortunate there for aLive. And not the best control we've seen out of him so far.
Well, it's not the end of the world for him. Zest is taking his 3rd base, while aLive is building his own 3rd command center. And this is a trademark vintage Zest that we're seeing here, just being very obnoxious with these Dark Templars.
Yeah, this looks a lot like what we saw from him in the beginning of Heart of the Legacy of the Void, where he would just basically go, 2 base DTs and get a very fast 3rd base with it, and just get so far ahead because you're doing damage, but also getting ahead because they can't leave their base, the Terrans, while they're dealing with the DTs, but you're also getting the damage while getting ahead in the economic race. And Terrans couldn't really figure it out for a while, but it seems like they've learned to deal with it by now.
Yeah, the game that shows how powerful Zest did with that build. Oh, is he going to pick it off? Nope. Wow, barely gets away. The series, I was going to... Oh, actually, all that thought is we see a counterattack coming from aLive at the north side of the map. Widow Mines are mine... No, okay. They do get borrowed, but back to the thought I was going to say before that attack at the north side was that the series that showed how powerful Zest was with that build order was against Tager in that round of 8 series.
Oh yeah. That's a series that I kind of want to forget. Like, Zest kind of just made him look silly, and yeah, he's doing a really nice job with the, he's making the most of what he's got at this point, and now he's actually ahead somehow, some way. And he's coming in for an attack now. He's picking off unit after unit, and a lot of aLive's units are out on the map.
It snipes the Observer though, so no high ground advantage, but it doesn't really matter because Blink Stalkers just go up onto those Liberators, takes them out of the game. We see a Widow Mine drop here at the expansion, but I don't think it's going to amount to much.
Now what is he going to do? I mean, the army of Zest is right down here near his production. All the SCVs are going to be pulled now, and he could even just force field the ramp and just take out that natural, not even dealing with the DTs that are trying to stop that attack here. He's even pulled from the 3rd. He's like, oh no, I'm so far ahead of you at this point. I've already done so much damage. I don't need to keep my 3rd. It doesn't matter at this point.
This game really reminds me of that Maru versus Classic game on Frost a couple of weeks ago, where Classic got to the production facilities of Maru and was just, he was in a very comfortable position, but I think in this case, aLive is not going to pull anything too crazy, and I don't really see Zest losing in this situation.
aLive in definitely not the best situation here. GG, Zest going to take a quick 2-0. We're seeing a repeat of yesterday, man. Only 2-0s at the GSL, and now Only 2-0 so far, and very, very one-sided 2-0s at that.
Yes, very convincing play from both Dark and Zest, but I don't really care how convincing those games were because our winners match will be Dark against Zest, and that's going to be amazing.
That's the marquee match of the night, guys. You want to get your friends in here and make sure they're watching Dark versus Zest. It's the best Zerg in the world versus the best Protoss in the world.
The GSL champion against the SSL champion.
Exactly.
This should have been what the cross finals was.
Yeah, and it's going to be an amazing best of 3. I would expect 3 games. I don't think one player is going to 2-0.
I will cry if Dark just did 2 all-ins in that series.
Well, what do you think is going to happen? Do you think Dark is going to take this or Zest?
I think Dark's going to take it because he's probably done a lot of research onto those games that Rogue played against Zest. So he's probably going to take a lot of inspiration from those games and adapt it to his play in this upcoming series.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, Rogue is on a different team from the both of them, so they definitely can talk about that stuff. But guys, we're going to take another quick break before we get to Dark versus Zest. Stay tuned.